If you've ever eaten an entire medium pizza because you didn't feel like cooking, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday to another episode of Live Trading. We have a lot going on, and we have some fireworks here with another short report. Literally right before the bell, I was just listening to Dennis. We're going to break it all down. I got my main man, 13, in the back. It's money time, folks.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right. Hello and welcome back and good morning. Great to see a whole bunch of people in here. The baseball kid, Brent, Kel, Nicholas, Reggie, SMS, Market Sniper, and everyone else that is joining us. Good morning. Great to have you back here. We got another day where we're going to go at things. Now, first, I will mention here that the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. If you need help getting over that 25K day trading threshold, Trade the Pool can help. If you just need more buying power, they can help. And we do have some picks from them. So let's go ahead and get to that. But before we get to that, we're going to bring on 13. 13, how are you today, my man?
I'm doing all right. We got a lot of movers this morning. Some new girls, some old girlfriends. So let's see what.
Okay.
I just noticed that my camera's a little bit fuzzy here. Let me see if I can fix that real quick.
That's okay. We have a ton of stuff to do. We have a jam-packed show for you today. So a couple of things. We do have Anne-Marie today after live trading. So right at 11 to 11:30, we're going to be going over some of those multi-leg options trades. But I've got some more option surprises for you today. I'm trying to bring on Nick Shaheen for a market update. So if you like Nick Shaheen and options trading, stay tuned. You should be joining us later today. We are going to jam a whole bunch of stuff into today's show. So I hope you folks are ready. I hope you've got your breakfast done, your coffee, tea, whatever it is. I hope you are ready to go. Now let's go ahead and dive right into the market. Yes, Jay Summers, I know Mullen is moving. Mullen is moving. We will cover it. David, did I see earlier that Money Mitch says he now works for Trade the Pool? No. As far as I'm aware, he just joined them for a stream yesterday, which I would encourage. It was great to see Money Mitch back there behind the camera. But as far as I'm aware, no, he does not work for Trade the Pool. You'd have to ask him, though. He knows better than I. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the SPY here. So first of all, yesterday was kind of an interesting day. 42 million shares versus the 72 million share average, which is like nothing. Just super low volume. We really struggled to get above the 512 level that you've outlined several times, 13. In fact, we struggled to really get past 510. I know we broke above it a couple of times, but we really had trouble staying above it there. And today we were somewhat flat here in the morning, and actually looking over at the SPY, we're actually taking a little bit of a dip down. So we didn't really do anything yesterday. I mean, the big notable thing is we really kind of sold off near the end of the day and then got bought right back up to balance by the close. But other than that, we really didn't do a whole lot. Now, this morning we had PayPal, Eli Lilly, 3M, and McDonald's reporting earnings. We're going to take a look at some of those stocks here today. But where we're kind of sitting right now, we're right beneath that 50-day moving average. We're really kind of straddling. I guess technically we're beneath the 20-day moving average too. We're really kind of straddling that. And we don't really have anything big in terms of Fed stuff until tomorrow. So maybe a little bit of a waiting game today, but you can't wait too long because tonight we've got AMD, SMCI, Amazon, Starbucks, Pinterest, Riot Blockchain reporting earnings. So this week's going to be interesting, and it might change from, in 1 5-minute period, it might be something, and then 5 minutes later, it might be something else. Easy for me to say. Sorry about that. 13. So I don't really have any position here for the SPY. One of the things that I've been thinking about positioning myself for would be some SOXS. Maybe into the Fed or on Fed day, but I don't have any of that right now. I'm looking at the market here. It sure looks like it's struggling to go higher. And with each passing like minute and hour, the market almost feels heavier and heavier to me, like it's going to sell back down. What do you see here in the SPY today?
You just made a comment that I found interesting, but it does feel like this market is pretty heavy. We did get a close above that 20-day SMA, and now we're starting to trade beneath it before the opening bell rings. The levels I'm looking at are still going to be the same that we've been talking about this, for a while now. If we lose this 508.50, then beneath that is 505 and 503. So those would be some downside levels that I have. And of course, to the upside, we still have that 20-day SMA that we're now trading beneath, the 50-day SMA and 512. So those would be the upside levels. I have downside levels. Not quite sure what kind of price action we're going to get. But the thing is that, and this is goes along with what the comment you just made about how there may be some selling or kind of getting out of the market ahead of the Fed when they meet tomorrow and Thursday. That is something I'm watching for. I'm not really so concerned with how the day is going to trade. It can do whatever it wants, but I want to see if we're going to get that selling at the end of the day, and see if we are going to get that people leaving the market because they don't want to be around when the Fed starts talking tomorrow. That's what we're watching for.
Okay. And we will watch for all of that here today. The other thing is we do have some more smaller stocks that are going. So we've got some stocks on the watch list. But man, oh man, if you folks were watching pre-market prep right there at the end, you got a little bit of a bonus. I'm going to cover it too. Ticker GL. This is one that we've been trading recently off that fuzzy panda short report. Guess what? We have another short report here this morning. Not here yet in the news feed. You heard Dennis mention it. Looks like there's another short seller here that gives a hat tip to Fuzzy Panda. I can't even believe I'm saying these things. Driving GL down here. So I know that this was big. We were printing this on the way up. Lots of money to be made off of GL from this chat room here, or from this show here. And it looks like we're getting another one here today. So I definitely am going to put this on my watch list. I want to see maybe where this bottoms out. I want to see if the selling is fairly relentless today, or does it just get jammed? Basically, does it just get bought back up and jam those shorts? We'll see. A lot of unknowns here, but this fresh here this morning. So before we talk about some of these smaller stocks, might as well and mention GL, especially as it's been a huge winner for us. Okay, let's cover some of the stocks that reported earnings here today. We're going to start with 3M. Okay, so 3M here, with 13 and I were talking about this in the pre-show fist fight this morning. The cool thing about 3M here is that this dipped initially and then ripped, right? So this actually was about $92 yesterday. It's 98 and change right now. It was as high as almost 100 earlier this morning. The initial move out of earnings was a dip, and that got bought hard. Now 3M, this is a long time great American company, and if you take a look at what the chart formation is here today, this is juicy, right? This is absolutely juicy. This stock has clearly been in a downtrend. Really looks like it's been going through a bottoming process. Had all types of issues with litigation, which I'm going to leave to 13 here. And now what we're seeing is we're coming up off the bottom. We're finally above all these moving averages. And today we actually break above that 500, which has acted as very clear resistance going back to the first of this month. All right, so 3M breaking above this. What I want to see here is a close above this level. If we get another close above this level tomorrow, giddy up. That would be really great. I know we've got the Fed going to throw a monkey wrench into everything here, but 3M looking really good on that earnings report. Now, 13, what did you notice here on 3M this morning?
I've been looking at 3M for a while because they do have a really juicy dividend. But they've been hammered with multiple lawsuits, and that has driven uncertainty about the stock. And one of the things that was really nice about this release here today is they seem to have, in March, they kind of resolved a couple of those major ones, and they gave a timeline of when they expect to pay that out. But the fact that the dividend is still able to be in place is going to be about 40% of the adjusted free cash flow. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing this the stock rocket right now, because the big uncertainty is kind of taken off the table and the dividend is safe. And it still seems like they're going to continue to have growth in the company. So I believe that big positive spin on this whole thing is why 3M is trading up today. I think it's especially because the dividend is not going to get messed with.
Yeah, I think you're right there, and it will be very interesting to see if we hold the chart formation. EKS here saying the spinoff of SOLV, which is Solve from MMM, has been a great one to trade too. So that gives you something else to take a look at there. Really good stuff here on 3M. I know Zoltan from our news desk here, he loves this company, especially for a long-term trade. He's done very, very well. So I believe he was selling covered calls against this one. Regardless, nice to see this news here. Definitely going to watch how this finishes up here today. And depending on what it does here, might even trade this here today. We will see. Yeah.
Real quick, Lion Atlas brought up something about GL that I think is pretty much what could end up happening here. It's probably just going to end up come down again. And you just, once it gets to a certain level, just buy it back up and just ride it up like it did last time. I mean, I don't know if there's anything different from the last short report when it comes to the one that just brought it down today. But seeing what we've seen with these short reports is if you just be patient enough, you can get it when it starts slowing down and coming near the bottom, and you'll be rewarded for trading it up.
Yeah, the one thing that I will say here on Globe Life is pretty much everyone just saw how this thing fell off from 100 to 59 and then back to 80 pretty much. So they're going to be looking for this same type of bounce again. That's what we do. We look for patterns. And you might get it, but it might not look exactly the same as the last one. So something to keep in mind there. I agree with Lion Atlas and 13 here. Patience is going to be the key to this, because you might have one of these where it looks like it's kind of bottoming today and it looks like it's bouncing and then it draws in a bunch of people and then it just rolls over and flushes and reverses on those people. So patience. But GL, I think, especially after what we've recently seen with this name, yeah, we should absolutely keep this on our radar here today, and we will. Really good stuff here on GL. I'm going to highlight a couple of these awesome comments I feel great about. Andy from Mighty Soldiers Trades, really good to see you, dude. I have I'm just going to kind of tease this publicly here. I have a little bit of a surprise coming for Andy, but we're not going to tell anybody about that. So keep that under your hat. Great to see you, Andy. Thanks for the kind words here. We really appreciate you. And I will pass this along to Zoltan as well. Hello, Carmen. Great to have you here this morning. Great to see you, and along with everyone else. Sid, DJF, Lion, Russell, all of you folks. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about some other stocks. We just took a look at 3M. We are going to take a look at McDonald's. I think McDonald's here reported earnings, this trading lower. I actually saw a news post this morning that McDonald's will try a bigger burger this year, which I'll be honest with you. Now, I'm not saying that the stock is necessarily reacting to that. Maybe it is. I think it's probably reacting to the earnings print. But I did see this floating around here that McDonald's is going to try a bigger size burger this year. I don't know how I feel about that. To me, I don't really think that's a great idea. I almost feel like this is kind of late, right? I think like the arc towards more fitness, less fake stuff, and the proliferation of GLPs and weight loss drugs. This just seems like bad timing. I don't know how well this is going to work. And then furthermore, I don't know how this is going to translate to the bottom line on McDonald's here. Just some news that I saw this morning. McDonald's looks like this is moving lower here. If we look on the daily chart, we are kind of in a downtrend. I do see some support right down here, right around 250. Stock price currently at 263. 13, you got any feelings here on McDonald's?
I don't know what they thought they needed to do by maybe they don't understand what inflation is, but it doesn't mean making a bigger burger. I don't really get the move here either. Good. There might be something else that we're just not seeing yet, but I don't know that America wants a big. What are they going to call the Big Mac now? We're going to call it a Big Mac, or no,
the bigger Mac.
The bigger, Jesus. So clever, that marketing team.
The biggest of the Macs, dude. That's
yeah.
I'm making fun of this at this point. Like, let's be very clear.
Same here. I don't understand why they think that making a bigger burger is going to necessarily be a better thing, given how more Americans are starting to be on Ozempic. They're being more health conscious, and they don't want to start spending more money where they don't have to. And I think that's just kind of what this bigger burger is going to end up doing. It's just It's gonna fill them up, but it's not. They're gonna feel guilty afterwards.
Yeah, or they're gonna just feel straight up sick afterwards. So
it's called the Mac Daddy.
The Mac Daddy. So there we go. I can't believe. There we go. Thinking about it, dude.
Yeah.
You're just out here. He's just out here.
He is thinking about it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, real good stuff there. The other stock that reported earnings here this morning is going to be PayPal. You can see here PayPal is trading up just a little bit for, I guess, 5%. Pretty good, 5.5% here. PayPal beat earnings today. This one's moving. Any of these stocks that are moving up today on earnings, it's worth watching for a gap and go type trade. Maybe you get one here. So I think PayPal probably, maybe 3M, possible candidates for this. But I also think that we might still see some muted volumes ahead of the Fed, especially since we're in the blackout period, which I believe gets lifted tomorrow.
Yeah, I really don't know what the volume is going to be like. Yesterday we had the lowest volume trading day of the year, and there was really on nothing. I think they were just kind of waiting for earnings to come out, waiting for the Fed to come out. There's not a whole lot of I don't think that we'll see a lot of activity today either, except maybe towards the end of the day. That's earlier I said I'm going to watch and see if we get some of that selling ahead of the Fed meeting. So that's just the one thing I'm going to be watching for to see if that happens. Just to keep myself on my toes.
Yeah, love it. Okay, Carmen saying, reading the short report on GL, how funny. Carmen would love to hear any tidbits that you come across there as you do. That is awesome. Also really want to point out here, love what Carmen's doing in terms of actually going to the source and reading it. I know a lot of the times we don't do that here as a group. A lot of it's press for time. I don't really think content of us reading the same document that I share on screen is very entertaining, which is one of the reasons we don't do that. But shout out to all of you that go and do that. And then double shout out for those of you that come back and report it to the group. That's exactly the type of stuff that I like to see here. Sally also mentioning here, Ozempic may make them eat more or eat worse because they feel they can. And this is a real thing. The one thing that I will say here, and this is not just for McDonald's that we just talked about, but this is for the GLPs at large. One of the things, we actually had somebody in the happy hour that tested this on themselves, tested the GLPs on themselves, and then delivered his report. And one of the things he said is that if you eat this stuff, you feel sick. It's not good for you, and it literally makes you feel ill. So what will be interesting is to see which side of that actually pans out. Is it just people saying, "Oh, I'm on the shot, so I can eat whatever the heck I want"?
Yeah,
or will it be people that are like, "Oh, I don't really feel like I'm gonna die, or I don't really feel like I'm gonna puke all day. I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna eat some vegetables." We'll see. They were going to need a bigger sample size in order to make that.
STFU nailed it. It's not like a gastric bypass. It actually does kill your appetite. It does not make you enjoy food like you used to. Yeah.
So a lot to say in there. Sally, you're definitely on to something, though. And I think that that's going to be a theme that we're going to be able to look into for a little bit. Okay, I know we're running out of time here. 4 minutes until the market opens. We will run through some of these movers. We did talk about some of the bigger stocks today, and we prioritized them. I think those might be where some of our best moves are. I'm going to go quick here, 13. I'm going to turn it over to you. If you got something great. If not, we'll move on. First one here is going to be ticker GMM, Global MOF. Is that MOFI? What is MOFI? Global MOFI Metaverse shares are trading higher after the company's Gauss AI teamed with HeartDub to develop Gauss Speed generative AI platform. That is mostly all jargon.
It's buzzword universe.
It's buzzword metaverse, according to the name of the company here. Stock's up 62% here. The one thing I will say is we do see some of the trading action that we like to see. Impulse move followed by a pullback, consolidation, expanding volume into the next impulse move. We'll see if we get that type of pattern continuing here. 13, do you got anything? GMM.
Yes, they mentioned NVIDIA, they mentioned Omniverse, they mentioned AI, and they mentioned, I believe that's all, but they mentioned generative. So lots of buzzwords in there. 14.6 million shares in the float. I believe it's also called Global MoFi.
MoFi. Okay. I was going to say MoFi didn't sound right.
No, let's roll with that.
I'm not surprised. Okay. Next one here on the list, CYCC. This is Cyclacel Pharmaceuticals. Cyclacel Pharmaceutical shares are trading higher after the company announced it filed Form RW with the SEC, withdrawing its registration statement. on Form S1. The company also announced an $8 million private placement. So you can see yesterday in the after hours, this really spiked and did a good job holding. But today here in the pre-market, we've actually taken a leg down. We've lost our VWAP. We're definitely going to be using this VWAP as resistance. So pay attention to whether or not the stock can get above that. That's going to tell us something here. We are testing the bottom of that knife right now. This is not a spot that I would be trying to buy this at. I want to see the resolution of this low test. 2 minutes till showtime. EKS, love that you're staying on top of me here. We're going to remain efficient. Did you have anything on CYCC?
1.25 million shares in the float. They did a reverse split, 1 for 15 on December 18th. I'm not really sure I even like this company at all. I mean, it might be a good trading vehicle, but keep in mind they have done 10 offerings since 2013. They have done reverse splits as well to the tune of, well, they've done one reverse split. That was the one I mentioned earlier. They've also done other splits previously. Be very careful with this one. They constantly need to raise cash, so they may be constantly eating it.
And speaking of another one that's very much like that, Mullen here, this had a huge knife. I know you folks are talking about it. Guys, we talk about Mullen all the time. There's nothing new going on here, which is why I'm saving it till the very end. Mullen did just knife. They've done a bunch of splits here, very, very similar to CYCC. AGBA, this ripping here on volume. AGBA group holding shares are trading higher after the company highlighted plans for its previously announced merger with Triller. So they're just rehashing old news, and that's driving the stock plus 25% here. Careful with this one.
Look at the daily chart. That looks pretty good. We have 30 seconds, but that daily chart
does.
Look, just like zoom into the recent price action down there. That looks like it's kind of flagging a bit here, and we're starting to break out of that flag. So this is something to watch. For some more movement into the threes. Yeah.
313, your spot to watch there. 313. A couple more stocks here that we are going to talk about throughout the day. I know we're under 30 seconds here. Just some stocks to keep on your radar here. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And what happened? Reset chart view. Oh my God. MRIN, BRTX, AUUD. We're open. Let's go. Really good.
Here we go.
Really good timing. Really happy with how that worked out. Okay, sick.
All right, so of the ones that we talked about, CYCC is leaking out of the gate so far. GMM is pushing up. This one's starting to get some volume expansion. The pre-market high was 169, giggity. We have BRTX on its way down still. It's looking like it's heading towards a 65 EMA on the 5-minute. AUUD also slowly leaking out of the gate. Looks like that one's also headed down to the EMAs 65 and 200 as well. And AGBA kind of bouncing around between the VWAP and $3.
GMM rip off of the VWAP there just about. I'm going to let this stuff catch up. I'm going to flip over to trade the pool, and we're going to go ahead and actually execute some stuff here today. Let me do that. By the way, thing. Yeah.
DJT, that got up to $51 in the pre-market, and now we're leaking out of the gate. So look for this one to maybe find some support either at the 65 EMA on the 5-minute, which it's just touching right now, or 46.75. That would be the next level down.
13, you missed your calling of being a horse race broadcaster, evidently. It did sound really good. You were running through that stuff. Every part of it was articulate. Really, really like that. Good stuff there. Nice shout there, Sally. Okay. DJT, that's rolling over here. A couple other stocks you folks are taking a look at. GRR. This
GMM new highs.
Which one?
GMM.
GMM new highs.
170 now.
There we go. That was that rip off of the VWAP there.
Yep. Oh, here we go. So 210 is my next upside target for GMM, and we are at 176. And volume was looking pretty good there just for a moment. So let's see if we can get that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you though.
No, you're all good. Tesla here. So this is actually one of the stocks that was on Trade the Pool's watch list here today. You got Tesla, Mullen, lol, and AMD. When we take a look here at Tesla, you can see we actually bounced off the bottom end of this pre-market range. We bounced right back to VWAP. Now we're trying to go higher here. I was actually thinking Tesla might break down here. Didn't necessarily take this for a bounce trade, but this already here looking pretty good. 2 points already off that bounce from the bottom end of the range. Yeah. I'm seeing Mullen huge. So there are two knives here in Mullen right away. Just seeing this action. If if we hadn't been talking about this for however long, just seeing this action right here, I'm interested in something else. Not really interested in action like this.
I bet Britney Spears owns one of these because there's two knives.
Okay, I don't think I'm up on Britney's music, but I'm assuming that's a really good joke.
When she was dancing with the knives and people were freaking out about it, like, is she okay?
Yeah, it's strange. I remember her dancing, but I don't remember the knives. We'll just leave it there. Eli Lilly, ticker LLY here. This obviously moved up on earnings. This looks like this might be trying to go higher here as we took off the VWAP, or took out the VWAP, excuse me, to the upside there.
AGBA popped to 3, still kind of bouncing around between I will say 270 and 3. It was bouncing between VWAP, but now VWAP's higher since we opened. Still bouncing around.
AGBA here, pull back to that VWAP. It did try to go, but looks like this might actually break down here.
GMM pushing higher.
Nicholas mentioning the SMH. I don't know if he's talking about semiconductors or shaking his head at your joke, which was choice. We'll
both, hopefully.
BRTX here. So actually might pop and go back towards the VWAP here, BRTX. MRIN, another one that's moving here this morning, ticker MRIN. Looks like this is at the bottom. Let's see if this bounces here. If this loses this area here, I think it probably goes lower.
GMM now up to 180, trying to push through and go higher. Still looking for 2, I think.
Caro says 13. At least you took a stab at it.
I
gotta get that on the soundboard. I got a couple I can replace here. Some symbols like that for some jokes like that would be pretty good. Okay. Boy, I tell you what, scanner not as popping as I thought it was going to be here today. 3M, by the way. Oh gosh. You know what? I'm almost thinking this is a short here. Let me actually draw this on here. I'm going to get it from the bottom of this candle. There we go. We retested this. I'm going to take 50 shares short here. Did not get the greatest fill. We'll see if this keeps moving here for us. So let me show you. I'm sorry I was a little bit late to this, but I'm going to show you the plan.
Cava.
So say again.
Cava.
Okay, I'll look at that here in a sec. What I'm looking for here in this particular trade plan is the break out of this range and then the back test of that. I noticed we were literally in the back test as I was talking. So I went ahead and grabbed a short there. We'll see if this works. As far as a stop loss goes, let's go ahead and set that. That's going to be right here about right above that candle, right here. Okay. This trade's actually working. I know it's early here. It's working. We did it in small size. Okay. What was the stock that you were just looking at, 13, that you just mentioned?
Cava. And it's
Cava.
It's taken off.
So at some point, folks, I do think this is going to be a short. Now, I haven't tried the food. I talked about trying to do that. I haven't tried it yet. I do think this is going to be a short at some point. This has just run so far, so fast. If the consumer is tightening, I would imagine restaurants like this are probably going to get hit. We'll see, though. Right now, I'm not looking to jump in front of a moving train on this one, though. Cava pushing up here. No position on this one, by the way. Not at least not at this time.
Mullen looks like it may have found a short-term bottom at 601. If it trades up, it's probably going to get up to 625. That would be, or it's been up there, but like, okay, but it's back there again. I think this is going to roll over. We're going to see a bear flag form here, or a bear pennant.
Did I miss the ticker? Are you talking about Cava?
I'm just talking about Mullen. Just looking to see where this one goes. I don't even know why I had this on my screen.
No wonder I blocked it out, 13. We were talking about Mullen here.
BRTX. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, all good. I was just saying that the 3M trade here, this is working the way that we had hoped. Would really like to see this kind of flush down, maybe take these lows out. Then we'll talk about booking. Sorry, what was the other ticker that you just brought up there?
Well, I was looking at BRTX, but AGBA is the one we should be looking at because that finally broke out over 3 and has traded up to 318. Now looking to take out 320, where there's a significant size, and it looks like it might get it here soon.
Okay. Jay Rice giving us, I love this here, giving us a few red to green. Snap, Google, and SMCI. Now, the interesting one here for me is going to be SMCI because that reports today. I expect this stock to be volatile. A quick look in here, 7 minutes after we open shows that it is absolutely volatile here, SMCI. Check out a couple more of these. Snap was another one that was mentioned.
Yeah,
Snap ripping here, and then Google.
Yeah, AGBA is still ripping, and Wis just mentioned that the shorts are starting to cover, which is great. Get them.
Spoke too soon on SMCI. Jay, that's going to be okay, my dude. It is going to be volatile all day going into that earnings, and frankly, it's likely going to be volatile after those earnings as well. That would be my guess.
345 next upside target for AGBA. Got as high as 336.
Okay, let's see. Looks like 3M's kind of all over the place there. Looks like we popped back to the VWAP, or we straight rejected there. Boy, I almost think we should reshort here if it's able to hold beneath that VWAP.
Nice job, Jane. Nice job.
Jane, you're getting register ring early this morning for Jane?
I was trying GMM as well, and didn't work out flat as well on that one. But yeah, the AGBA, much better. Absolutely. We're playing the same thing. BRTX might be slowing down here. Look and see if it holds this 135 level.
GL reversal getting called by Lion Atlas. So it looks like, oh my God, this short report didn't even give this that time. Lion Atlas here is long.
Cava popped at 72.50 and came back in.
3M popping now. Actually, I'm actually looking to grab more shares of this short. We'll see if we get an opportunity there.
Watch CYCC around right around here. See if it bottoms around here, or 170.
Okay,
that would be the earliest level of support that I think we could see here. Because if you look a few days ago, we had that 170 area be a big support turned resistance level, and then this morning or in pre-market it blasted through that. Now it's support again. So I'm looking to see if that 170 level will be act as support.
Yeah, and I'm looking here. We got a gap here on the daily chart beneath as well. CYCC. All right. Lynn saying, can we say boring? Yeah, market doesn't look great early, but things are going to change. We got some pretty big earnings reports in the afternoon, so I wouldn't write it off yet. Boston game tonight, the hockey game, will be better. I hope so. I'm not even sure Austin Matthews plays tonight, which was one of the things that would make that game good. So yet to be seen. Nicholas looking at GMM, ticker GMM here. This actually came back to its VWAP. We'll see if it loses this here. Pewitt mentioning here that it's slowing down. Indeed it is. And it's trying to hold at this VWAP. We'll see if we end up getting it to hold there.
Yeah, GMM, I'm not too sure. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure about it. The MACD is really starting to curl on this one. If it doesn't, pop here and get back over VWAP and hold, I think we might be seeing it break down beneath 150.
Snap soaring. And then parabolic, boy, we're getting some. Okay, well, we're getting that actual move here too. I appreciate you using that correctly here. Snap ripping to the upside here.
IBRX is pushing this morning. It's done nothing but print green candles, and we're breaking through this pre-market level here. This consolidation. The high in the pre-market that I have is 966. It popped and dropped. So
this went red green here on this move too, didn't it? Yeah, I think it did. AGBA getting mentioned here. This going for some highs here, might be slowing down right here though. AGBA
right there
at 350 area.
Yeah, right there at 345. That was the next level. So above this, I have $4.
VKTX, by the way, remember yesterday, I actually took some of this. There were huge call buys, the 100 calls in the May expiry, so only 17 days away. VKTX popping here, going higher. I did take this very, very small in the main account. I just took the option contract. I took the May. Let me tell you exactly which one I took here. The May 100 call. I paid $1 for it. Okay, paid $1 per call. So small position there, VKTX. This is moving here. BLND, I see on the scanner. Blend Labs. Watch for this to take out this pre-market high here. Got that at what, 289? Looks like maybe a little bit lower here. Sorry, 287.
Yeah, AGBA still holding up there.
How's Mullen doing? Should I not even ask? Mullen resolving lower.
Yeah, I think Jack kind of nailed it where the direction that one's going today.
Look at Micron. Micron at the highs here today. Do all of the chips look like that? NVIDIA is not as green, but it is at the highs. SMCI still flirting with that 895. AMD, which reports tonight, that's actually a little bit lower here. That's the worst performer of all of them. How's Amazon doing? It's like Amazon's about flat.
Cava is looking like it's going to break 72.50. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, this thing's just been an absolute monster. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, that's King of the Hill, right? I don't even really watch that show. GMM here. This right at the VWAP looks like it's trying to bounce. We'll see if that gets rolling.
No, there's a huge number of sell orders that came in at 169, 170. It's pushing this thing down now.
Okay. Fubo, not really much there. SOUN, not really much there. DC saying MU going higher there. It might. AUUD, this is one off the list earlier. This really just kind of broke. This didn't really do anything. Lion mentioning Coke. Now, Coke, let me get their earnings.
They had earnings
Was
too,
that this morning?
I think so.
Well, let me just confirm that here because I didn't have that one memorized and I don't want to confuse it. Boom, boom, right here. Coke. Yes, Coca-Cola earnings this morning. Great call.
AGBA trying to push that 345 level through. Well, it just ticked through a little bit, 1 penny higher. And Cava popped to 72.89, and it came back in a bit, but still above VWAP.
3M. This trade here, it looks like it's trying to go higher. It's right at the VWAP here. I'm almost tempted to take a little bit more. I would keep my stop where I'm at. If this pushed up, I'll tell you what, if this prints 96, we'll add to it. And then we'll take a look here at GL2 in a sec. Yeah, see, I want to see what this does here on this pop. Do we go higher here on this?
I'm going to see if BRTX is going to rebound here. The volume's not great, but it's sold off out of the open, and it's finding some support right now from some of these EMAs. So looking to see if that one can turn around here.
Okay.
AUUD putting in a bit of a bottoming candle. I'm not saying that this is the bottom, but the candle kind of makes it look that way. So maybe watch AUUD for reversal.
Yeah,
volume's not great.
It does look like that, though, 13. You're right about that.
Looks like AGBA is about to push through and there we go, trying to push up and get through.
New highs, AGBA. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Coke's higher. Here's GL. GL's trying to go higher. God, good. For any of you that were buying that, great dip buy there.
It's like IDRX.
Wisdom saying, I already made his numbers. Wisdom, you had a 17-minute work shift today.
Yeah.
17 minutes. Robert, yeah, I can. Would anyone like to share their thoughts and opinions on the Amazon earnings? Okay, well, obviously they're not out, so I can't necessarily comment on them per se. I would think that Amazon would be doing well. It's a discount retailer, or at least in some way. I mean, you can find deals on there. And then as we've been talking about, the web services has shown really no slowdown. My gut would be that they beat, but I don't have anything like any piece of information that's telling me that. We can analyze them and see what the numbers are like after they come out. But again, I'm bullish on Amazon. I remain bullish. I try to add on weakness. I don't try to add on days where it's trading up. I don't know if that's what you were looking for. If you had anything else specific in there, let me know.
AGBA going, just beelining right for my next target. It's up to 385 now. I still am looking for $4. This thing is
this was
great.
Been the
nice
ripper
job this morning. Thanks.
Nice job.
Been the ripper this morning. Yeah, it's been really, really good. So yeah, $4 unless we start to get some pullback here. But I think that I need to actually put some levels above $4 because $4 was the top end I had for this one.
I have them in my long-term account, Robert, regarding Amazon. You know what? I'd keep it there. I don't know that anything is changing with the Amazon thesis that would make me sell a long-term position. Short of them saying we're going to move out of the web services business on the earnings call, I would personally, if I had a long position still with a long-term time horizon, I'd hold through this print. It really depends on your own situation, though.
I outlined how Bezos had been selling earlier this year.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's got me. Like, is the consumer actually weakening, or is Bezos buying a separate yacht or redoing his yacht? Like, I can't tell,
Mm-hmm. So I'm just pointing out that with the last time he sold, it was right before the entire market just took a nosedive in 22, and AGBA is about to hit 4. Holy crap!
It's kind of like he knows something. 13, right? That's that's a really good point. And like I said, I don't have a position right now. I'd love to add on weakness, not on green days.
Yeah.
Here's your forecast coming. AGBA. That was a great call. 13.
Hey. That was just my levels, but I appreciate it. And we're about to go. Oh, we got through 4, and now we're coming back in a bit. Or we're just
Lion Atlas doing multiple early victory laps here, saying GL calls never disappoint. Lion, I hope that's the case, but man, oh man, seems early. I've learned lessons in my career not to do the victory lap until the gains are booked, but giddy up. Hope it works for you. Mullen is ripping to the downside. Giggity. 3M really kind of holding in here. I tell you what, it's really struggling to get above its VWAP. Really struggling to get above its VWAP here.
Yeah, Seahorse Trading. I was looking for that pull at 4.2. We haven't quite got it yet, but it looks like we are getting it now. Oh wow, we did get it for sure. There was a big move down in AGBA after getting up to what was that 429.
Cleared the high end of the range and then came back in.
It may squeeze to 10 today. That'd be cool.
Wes, that would be a monster move, dude. Monster move.
Maybe we just wait for it to come back in a little bit and then we can reload. Because it feels like it looks like it wants to kind of cool off a bit here and come back in. The RSI is a little bit high on the smaller time frames. Even on the daily chart, the RSI is at 83, so should see some pullback a bit here. BTC down 4%. Let me take a look and see where that's at, because I remember when we were looking at yesterday, 62,000. As soon as we started trading under 62,000, there was a big effort to buy and get back above 62. Earlier, I think it was last week I had mentioned if 62,000 falls, then I think we'll end up seeing the price go underneath 60. We're very close to that. We got as low as 745. So not too far to go before we hit 60. I still think that at this point, we're going to be going underneath 60 if we continue to have these multiple closures underneath 62.
Looking at 3M here, it's really kind of riding this. It looks like it was trying to pop there. And I think I would have liked to have shorted it if it did. I do kind of want to grab a little bit more here. I think we probably sell off. Market looking a little bit weak too. It ran up to that 509.5 and got stopped there, came back in a little bit.
Looks like AGBA is trying to get pushed up higher. There's a large order of, oh, no, it's getting chewed up. Never mind. There's a lot of bids that came in to try to help prop the price up. Got eaten up.
Around here, folks.
GMM continuing to go lower, trying to find some support somewhere. If I had to be a guessing man, I would say probably around here, around between 145 and 150, it might try to find a bottom. So we'll see if that takes shape. BRTX, kind of going sideways right now, but it seems like it could still go lower. We're going to need to see some closes above the 65 EMA on the 5-minute in order for me to get a little bit more bullish on that one. Cava doesn't want to stop going up. It has been putting in green candles all morning.
Looks like 3M kind of falling out here before I was able to add. There, you're right on that on Cava here. All green candles, all green candles.
I don't know where this ends. AGBA now ticking back up higher. They have a wall of sell orders at 410. See if that can get chewed through. But WIS, I mean, if it goes to 10, that'd be pretty incredible. I have levels all the way up to, well, I've only put in up to 835, so we'll see if we even get that. But if we get to 10, that'd be cool. NEO, I also saw somebody in some news article mentioning that NEO would do pretty well off of the after that China auto show. I didn't read into it; it was just a headline. But NEO's moving now.
I'm skeptical of that one. I'll just be honest. I'm skeptical of that one. We'll see.
I'm skeptical of made in China.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I appreciate you cutting to the chase right there. I am too. Still looking around here. Looks like this triple M short. This was a good setup here. I really just kind of waited this out. We'll see if we end up breaking the bottom here. We've got this spot at, what was that? 93.80. Love to see that break here. Then we can look for booking.
Yeah, Sydney, $10 would be cool. If we get that, that'd be a big day maker, big time.
SMCI. So this did have its red to green move here. This actually consolidated a little bit at the VWAP and now moved higher here. Jason went through 900. Jay, you got any gut feeling on the earnings on this one here today? Curious to know what you think.
Looks like CYCC has found a bottom and is trying to recover. It's at VWAP right now. See what else. BRTX still going sideways. GMM maybe finding a bottom as well. It just had a little bit of a red candle that looks like it could have been some kind of capitulation move, but we'll see.
Yeah, Crypto Sam, I'm not sure what point you're trying to make here. We're talking about the stocks, not the actual little semiconductors that are made there. Not even remotely close to the same thing. But oh well.
CYCC going higher.
And took out the VWAP here and on some pretty good expanding volume.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if that actually continues to move higher here. AGBA might not be done here for today either. Watch this on a pullback to the VWAP. Got that at about 346, 350 could be a possible bounce spot as well.
Yep.
EOF from last week. Took a look at this one last week here. This actually bouncing as well. Going through some of these other stocks here.
Something about that, the type of food that they make, right? I forget what BOF, the branch out foods. Something about I think this reminded us of Beyond Meat, right?
Yeah, here, let me actually go grab that here for you off the overview. This is what we talked about last time. Engaged in the development, marketing, sale, and distribution of plant-based dehydrated fruit and vegetable snacks and powders. So not quite the same thing, but along those same lines.
IBRX worth watching here. So is this finally turning around?
This actually putting in higher lows consistently from the open here.
Looks like it's just trying to stay above 9. That was a lot of sideways consolidation in pre-market. We broke through that about 20 minutes ago, and then came right back in with an ugly knife. So 9 seems to be the level.
All right, you folks are on it. BLND getting mentioned here in the chat. Nice job. This actually did a great job moving off of its VWAP. Seahorse, awesome stuff. BTSG also getting mentioned here in the chat. That ripped right from the open. BTSG.
Thank you, WebCoin, for reminding me. That was what it was.
Oh.
It was, remember, it was Mulek.
Yeah, we traded this one recently. Yep.
Yeah, this one was not great. It opened and it leaked, or not leaked, but it knifed out of the open, and it has not really recovered since then. Maybe in the pre-market, but we're still not having a regular session higher than that day.
Nope, and it just completely round trip. This thing, all types of dangerous on MLEC.
Looks like we're getting some recovery here in AGBA. Is it going to go higher? There's a lot of sell orders between 4 and 410, so we'll see. We're going to need some whales to come in and kind of bid these up or buy these up. Oh, it's starting to happen now. There's one wall fallen. That was one that was put up around I think it was about 390.
Right. All right, folks. I promised you a guest today. We're going to go ahead and bring him on. You ready in the back there, Nick? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're ready to go. We'll go ahead and bring you on. All right. Awesome stuff. Welcome to the stream here today.
It's
Nick,
early in California. Back out, zoom out. It's early in California.
I knew you were in California. Nick, good morning, my man. Thanks for getting up early with us, by the way. Really appreciate it.
I'm up before 4 every day, so I'm good.
There you go. All right, Nick, again, thanks for joining us. Why don't you tell the viewers here who might not know who you are a little bit about who you are and how you trade, and then I'd really like to hear your thoughts on the market itself.
Sure. I'm Nick Shaheen. I've been working with Benzinga since 2011, I believe. So I'm an old dog, as they say. So
I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah. And as far as my background, I'm self-taught on everything I do with trading. I'm an electrical engineer, and I have an MBA in finance. So all along my career, I've been trading. But like everybody who started doing stocks, and then you get intrigued by something else, and then you include charts, and you become a specialist at a thing or two. So these days, I've been helping the folks, the members on Benzinga, just trade every day. So believe it or not, just like you, I do share my screens all day, and luckily we have 260 to 310 people live every day, and we spend all day doing what you guys are doing here, and we absolutely love it. Even like this morning, I'm before the market opens, I'm saying, okay, the S&P needs to clear 511, or it's going to retest yesterday's low. And within 32 minutes, whoop, we have that little hiccup. Somebody slipped on a banana peel, right? So, and I'm trying to train people not to listen to news, that we have enough tools that we can kind of forecast what's going to happen. As far as the market is concerned, we're sellers of rallies. So we've been shorting on pops. On really strong days, we strategically short. If you know how to do options, the best way to do it is to sell risk above on a hot day. So you collect a lot of premium. And if it cools off or it drops a little bit, you collect the premium.
Nick, real quick, are you shorting the market, or are you shorting individual names, a basket of both? What are you actually shorting here?
Okay, so my easiest money came this year from shorting the SPX and the RUT. The RUT represents the Russell 2000, and it's the actual index, so it's cash settled. This eliminates the need for, worried about getting assigned anything. And the SPX is the index for the S&P. It too is also cash settled. So I sprinkled credit call spreads for months, and I fanned them out like a musket. Like if you shoot a musket, I fanned them all out on every day. So the last couple of weeks have been easy greens for me, as they say. I'm usually very bullish, but I'm trying to trade the charts. And we may have seen a top for the market on April Fools in the S&P. So the way I said it, so I do a video for the members every night, every Sunday night. It's like 3.5 minutes, not even, kind of like the general. And I led with this statement. I said, this is probably one of the most pivotal weeks for the year since the early January. And the bears have been in charge for like 6 weeks, if you believe it or not. It's like lower lows and lower highs for about 6 weeks, except for that April Fool's S&P pop. The NASDAQ didn't do it. So the bears have the opportunity to get trapped big time. The target for the SPY, once we broke out of 460, is 530 to 560. I have a specific target at 543 based on one wolf wave that I have, but it can be interrupted. So I'm tracking the upside still, even though I'm saying the top might be in. So I'm open to both. So I'm telling the bears, they are upset and they're shorting rallies out of emotions. They have the opportunity to get trapped. So don't short because you hate it. Short because you have a real thing you're shorting. So that's one thing. Like this morning, I want to short JP Morgan based on valuation. And so I'm not shorting it because I hate it or because it's rallying, because I think it's expensive price to book, just old school. And I'm telling the bulls also, they're overly confident. They too have the opportunity to get trapped with a pop and drop. So be careful what you're doing. Don't chase blindly either way. And emotions is our enemy right now, because this is an emotionally charged country right now in everything, everywhere you see. And it's like, I see it every day. I talk to 300 people.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that 100%. I really like that, your comments there about emotions too. One of the things that we focus on here is a process-based approach that you can kind of remove those emotions from. But you're absolutely right. I mean, you look anywhere. I mean, you could ask somebody what their favorite hamburger is. They're going to get emotional about it. It seems everyone's just kind of on edge right now. So I'm with you.
In and out, in and out,
in and out. Okay, so first of all, I'm not sure if you're aware, we do have a number of your followers and fans here that join us daily. Nick, welcome. Give us an earful on Tesla. I will ask you about Tesla here in a sec. Gladys saying, what a treat. I've learned a lot from Nick over the years. I hear daily, look left, which is something that we say here as well. So really awesome stuff. All right. So in terms of like individual names that you're looking at here, what are you trading? Maybe we should start with Tesla.
We'll start with Tesla and I'll tell you why. So for the last month, maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks, everybody that asked me, and I get asked at least once a day about Tesla, here's my answer. If Tesla doesn't break out of, it started with 202 and then I lowered it to 198. It's going to go, it has the very good chance of going to 140 in a series of lower lows and lower highs over the next few months. It went to 139, right? 138.8. So anybody that heard that, I said I would not hold calls in Tesla. That was my message all along. You can buy calls to trade point A to point B inside that trading range. But I saw a pattern down to 140 from weeks and weeks ago. And I'm on record saying it. So this week, in fact, last night, a friend of mine, a personal friend of mine, calls me. He never calls me unless he needs something on stocks. He goes, I swear, this is here's Ali on the phone last night. Hey Ali, Nick, I made a boo-boo. That's all he said. I made a boo-boo. So I was like, huh, you shorted Tesla. He goes, yep. So I was like, where did you short Tesla? He goes, at 144. 144? That was like my target area. How could you short it down there? Anyway, so I would not touch Tesla. If you don't know charts, don't touch it. If you're investing in Tesla, buy it when everybody hates it. Don't buy it when it's up 40% in 4 days. So for me, this is one of those stocks that have rallied so much of late. It's too high to chase and too hot to short. Just leave it alone, let it settle, and trade it when you have visibility on it. I think the report sucked. We went long on the report, into the report, based on one thesis I had. I said, go Google Tesla. I did it through your Benzinga Pro. I put Tesla and it comes up with all the Tesla headlines. Not one positive headline. I mean, they looked up BS stuff about everything negative. Oh my God, this report is going to be crappy. It's going to be crappy. I said, there's no one expecting upside. I think the upside will happen. Boom. So we took a trade that doubled. It was a call diagonal. It was like $730, and the next day it was almost $15. So it was a no-brainer. But the second move was even more ridiculous headline. Yesterday, everybody says in my room, everybody says, did you see the Tesla headline? I was like, which headline? They named 4. It was like, oh, now we have all good headlines coming out about Tesla. It was everything all over the board. I was like, so I will go to Benzinga Pro. I was like, what is going on? Sure enough.
The full self-driving headline. We got it yesterday. We traded around that as well.
Yeah. Self-driving, I think, is a pipe dream in the US legally. So here's my simple, stupid statement about it. Trains are on rails and they're not self-driving. How are they going to let cars be self-driving?
Actually, that's really good. I had not heard that from you before. I may repeat that, just FYI. I like that a lot.
Legally in the US, I think self-driving is going to be localized. Like if you can control an area, maybe. But to launch it nationwide,
Yeah.
So that was Tesla. So I would be careful. If I'm long, and I won't add. If I picked up some at 140 for an investment, sit on it. You did well. Start selling covered calls if you can. Put them to work. Learn how to. It's very easy. Don't do it willy-nilly. You know, join the group and join a group that knows what to do with options and see how easy it is to put your asset to work. And by the way, this is how you can protect your stock. I know somebody that went long MSDR against my advice at a higher level. So I had a discussion with him to how can you sell covered calls in order to buy puts to protect yourself from downside. It's almost free, especially in high premium stocks.
Okay, so Tesla, that's real good stuff there on Tesla. Appreciate that. That's something I get asked about that every day. When we look at Tesla every day on this show, it seems to be moving around every day. Another stock I want to ask you about, if that's all right, here is Amazon. They, of course, report earnings here tonight. I am someone just personally, I'm very bullish on Amazon. I've used the service myself for a long time. We use the web services division here at Benzinga quite a bit. I like this stock. I like it higher. You got any feelings or trades set up for Amazon pre-earnings?
I have no feelings for stocks. Amazon is one of my favorite companies of all time. Okay. Like you, I appreciate it. This new guy, I don't have the same feel for yet. So this morning, somebody said in the pre-open chat that we have going on with the service, somebody said, do you think Amazon will announce a dividend? I said, I sure hope not, because I'm hoping that this guy, just like Bezos, has better things to do with his money than just pay back in dividends and buybacks. And let's see if they do. I hope not. As far as the stock itself, it's the reaction, the knee-jerk reaction overnight. It's binary. It's really not about the quality of the report. We can debate that. We can have a whole show about that, and I can prove it to you mathematically that it's always a coin flip. And for Amazon, I would usually what I do is for us late in the day before we close, I look at the options, and I've developed a knack into kind of reading the body language as to where the market maker's money is inside that options table that expires this week. Volume and open interest combined, and a couple other things that I have, and then I usually set the trade. And the trades that have worked best are basically iron butterflies, which are selling the high intensity, the implied volatility. Like options are super expensive for Amazon this week. Don't buy them. Buy them like 3 weeks out. If you want to bet up, sell the ones for this week. They're like 3 times more expensive than normal. So tomorrow at the bell, the ones you sold will die super fast compared to the ones you own. So even if you get it wrong, let's say you go calls, call diagonal or call calendar, and the stock drops a little, you make money. So I will give you my guess later this evening before the market closes, but I can tell you that I will trade it off of the action. So if it drops, I will catch the falling knife. It's an outstanding company. So from a trading perspective, I usually don't take big bets into the earnings. I trade the action after the earnings with information. But if I do take a bet, it's an iron butterfly. Okay. Which is, it sounds complicated, but it's basically you're acting like a market maker. You're selling risk at current price or near current price, and then you're just protecting yourself by buying cheaper risk way outside so you're not blown out. Okay. Really awesome stuff there, Nick. Look, where can some of our viewers find more of your content if they're interested? Well, hopefully you have a link for me. I don't have my link with me. Benzinga hosts an inner circle chat membership for me. You can reach out to Rodrigo. Do you have Rodrigo's email? That would be great. Sure. He doesn't mind it. He is amazing at putting you at the best price of whatever program they have going on. He's my guy. So if you can put Rodrigo's email there, and they shoot him an email, he can hand walk them into the Inner Circle Live. And they have a 30-day, try it for 30 days. So if you sign up and we're full of it, you can leave, no harm done. I think you will love it. Right now, I'm looking at 277 people saying, is Nick talking? Is Nick talking? I don't know what's going on. I'm usually talking all day.
Well, Nick, look, I really appreciate you giving us some time here this morning. We'll get you out of there so you can get back to that room. I look forward to seeing you on here again. We're really curious to see what it is you're trading and how you're trading. So
maybe next time I'll share my screen and we'll try to trade something live. How about that?
You heard it here, folks. Join us next Tuesday for some live trading with Nick. Nick, I can't thank you enough for your time. Thanks very much, my man. Anytime. Yeah. Have a great rest of your day. Good luck on those trades.
Thank you.
Take care. All right, folks, that is Nick Shaheen, one of our option experts here at Benzinga, taking time out of his day to join us here on the live trading. Be sure to smash up the like for my man, Nick. And let me tell you something, if positioning yourself for earnings reports and after earnings reports using options is something that you're looking for, go ahead and reach out to my man, Rodrigo, right there. I gave you his email. Go ahead and shoot him an email. I also gave you a link to the research site. So Nick, real sharp guy. I've known him since I started here. Been very, very helpful to me in my career, just as kind of a personal note. So love to see that with Nick. So thanks very much. Much appreciated. Hopefully you folks found that valuable. Let's get back to the actual trading here. So real quick, while that was all happening, 3M really kind of traded back up. I actually added here right ahead of my short, or right ahead of the stop. So I'm going to go ahead and actually replace that stop here.
AGBA looks like it's trying to reclaim $4. It's got a bit of a wall to chew through here, but this is just something I'm watching for. We might get the move soon too.
Okay, we're going to go 97. There we go. All right. So stop set here. We did add to our 3M position. Let's hope that this rolls over.
Here we go.
If it doesn't, which stock here? Let me bring it in focus.
AGBA. Yeah.
AGBA.
I'm just looking to see if this can recapture 4 and go higher. It's certainly trying to get up there after we had that knife earlier. So
this nice little curl pattern, this came back towards the VWAP here. This actually looking pretty good.
Here we go. We're up almost to 4. Looking tasty. I raise my stop on this. No loss here.
Nice job. Nice job on that. AGBA right at 4. They took that and pulled it a little bit, but boy, they took all that size out of there.
Yep. Now they got support at 4. There's a lot of orders that came in at 4. Look at that. Now we have a bids helping keep that up. Hopefully it doesn't get taken out.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, that 401 bid. That's big.
Yeah. So hopefully that provides some support there for these buyers, and they can just take this thing up past 429 where it was earlier this morning. That's the hope.
CYCC, another one that we're watching here. Yep. This actually just took out VWAP. This might try and go higher here. Ticker CYCC.
All right, out of AGBA. Got stopped out. $4. Call it good. Cava went as high as 74.58, and now it's coming back in a bit. I don't know how far this will fall. It looks like it might be getting caught here by the VWAP, but volume's declining, so be careful. You guys were mentioning GRRR earlier. That had a nice run up to 590, and it's come back in a little bit. Found some support from just above VWAP, not at VWAP, but a little bit above it. Looking to see if the volume can increase here, but it looks like it wants to try to curl and go higher than 590. Not sure that that's going to happen here if we don't get that volume. And like you guys were mentioning earlier with CYCC, we did have a little push over the VWAP. Still haven't taken out the intraday highs, which I have at 214. And it looks like the 65 EMA on the 5 minutes also helping keep the price suppressed.
Sorry, just responding to something here real quick.
No worries. Just kind of looking around. Man, one thing that's been really good, it's been spready, but it's been giving you some great trades if you got those limit orders at the right spots. It's been DJT. Man, off 65 EMA, up through 50 and right back in. So you got, I mean, those are some two levels we talked about this morning, especially the $50 level. That was hit. We took that out in pre-market and came back in. So that was a good level. AGBA now coming back into VWAP. So we got a pop over 4, and now we're coming back in. Sorry if I'm moving around too fast. Yeah, this one might be curling to roll over. So if a VWAP can't hold it, then maybe I'd be looking at 345 to be the next level of support. Be careful with AGBA.
Indeed. It's okay. I was actually flipping around here, so I'm trying to do some stuff there too. Rodrigo.
Oh, Mullen is getting mentioned.
Rodrigo's joining the stream and mentioning Mullen. Rodrigo. Good morning. We talk about Mullen every single day, Rodrigo. It is great to have you. You actually just got a shout out from Nick Shaheen, by the way. So clap it up for that. Mullen is halted here to the upside.
All right. Well, everybody, welcome to the casino. That's called Mullen. And place your bets. Do we unhalt and this thing absolutely rockets, or do we get killed in it? You guys can find out if you want. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the first halt of the day?
For Mullen? Yeah, let me get it for you.
No, of any stock.
Well, the stocks that we were watching, yes, but there have been other stocks here that have halted, like Mind, for example. Jan halted, MARX halted, but these are all different stocks. Mullen, as far as the ones on our list, AKLI, someone mentioned that earlier here. That was halted earlier. But Mullen, the first one from our list here, halted 694, should be a 10-minute halt on that one.
And you said MIND, Mind?
Yeah, let me get it for you. Sorry. MIND, correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Okay, because I see where it may have halted. It's putting in a pretty decent looking pattern, but I don't know what the volume's like on this. All right. Looks like CYCC is still trying to take out that 65 EMA. Might be able to get it here pretty soon if we keep this Okay, there it goes. Now it's breaking out, and we're getting close to the intraday high, which was 214. Came back in. What do you think, folks? Do you think CYCC gets back up to the 240 area that it was?
Sorry, I'm going too slow here.
No worries. It's you think we get 240 and CYCC kind of where it was consolidating and seeing some support this morning before it broke down?
Carmen asking about WGS. Took a look at this one earlier. This was coiling earlier here today. It does look like it's moved up to those highs, but hasn't broke out of this yet. Daily chart actually looks pretty decent on here, although it does look like we're at some resistance.
AGBA lower, but not, not completely out and down. Nice, but it is looking. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say on WGS here, nice little break out of this formation, but we'll see on WGS. And I'm sorry, which stock were you looking at? 13.
I was back on AGBA, just kind of looking to see
gotcha.
if this is going to find some support and go higher. But the MACD is not looking great right now.
By the way, I got stopped out of 3M, so that did rip up and stop me out. Should have taken gains. Should have been in and out, just like Nick Shaheen told us a second ago. Had some green on that initial move, but stopped out on 3M.
It looks like the broader market is it's trying to do something. It looks like it's trying to go higher, like get up to five, like let's say the SPY trying to get up to 510, but the volume just is so atrociously low. It's not like I don't think it's getting it. I mean, look at this. I have never seen be an hour into this day and still be under 10 million shares traded in the regular session. Maybe we got that yesterday, but I just don't see this happen too often unless it's a super slow day. We saw this happen maybe, I want to say maybe 22. We saw this happen a few times.
Yeah, there were a couple of days in there that were just really, really low. Like it's like nobody's participating. But you're right. Today here, I mean, today this is putrid. This is clearly waiting for the Fed, right? I mean, that's about as obvious as it gets here.
Waiting for Fed, waiting for earnings, and we might even see some selling ahead of Fed. You know, it's a market just kind of is like just holding its breath. It seems.
Yeah, it really does seem like that. CYCC pushing away from the VWAP here.
BRTX, we talked about this one going down out of the open, and now it looks like it's starting
curling
to recover.
here. Yeah. 1 sec, 13. I'll be right back.
No problem. One thing we can do with BRTX, if we think that this upside is going to continue, is VWAP. I have it about just above 150. So you could try to get a maybe 10-cent move from here if you have enough shares. So there's something that you could trade. GRR, that one's still kind of hanging out up here. Looks like this one also wants to go higher, but I want to see if we can start trading up closer to 590 again. The MACD does look like it's starting to bend a bit. That one, AGBA still going lower. Looking for 345 as a support level. We'll see if that one can give this price a lift, but the MACD is really curling and about to converge. DJT is still testing that 65 EMA on the 5-minute. What else are we looking at here? Super low volume. Yeah, a lot of these have super low volume, Nicholas, sorry. Split adjusted.
All right, sorry about that, 13.
Yeah, Jason. No problem, dude. When volume crosses 1 million shares, may one think that it may find more traders' eye? Carmen, I think there might be some scanners that will alert some traders when a certain number of shares are traded. That might be one way that some folks do it. I'm just, for me, I like to look at relative volume. I want to see an increase. That gets me more excited because then it makes it the stock a little bit more liquid. It makes it a little bit easier to trade and find asks for your bids and bids for your asks. So that's a thing with when it comes to watching volume. I like the relative volume.
So do I. Mullen here, by the way, open and ripping higher. This to the top end of that pre-market range. Now we've got the knife here. Lynn and Randy, careful, Rodrigo. Ryan hates Mullen. It's not just me, Lynn, and it's not about me. It's about the group. I hate to see people get hurt, and Mullen has been one of those stocks that is doing that. I mean, Jay Rice has outlined Mullen for months now how dangerous this stock actually is. Doesn't mean you can't make money on it. Doesn't mean you can't make money on it.
Yeah, you don't want to get clawed in this thing, or else it'll be called Mullen.
Yeah,
CYCC did have that breakout on of the 65 EMA, and we are heading towards 240. Still a low volume, but we're in that direction now.
Jay Summers, nice job in and out of Mullen right there.
All right. Looks like some of the selling has slowed down at AGBA, looking to see if it's going to turn around or not. GMM, man, all these have super low volume, but that one looks like it's starting to curl. Got burnt on Mullen. I'm sorry, Market Sniper. You'll get a better trade. There's better ones out there.
Look, if it's one of those, just there are other stuff to trade. Don't trade it.
You'll get a better one.
If it's hurting you, don't trade it. You'll get it back.
CYCC, it's still got low volume, but it's still slowly pushing up. I don't know that we're going to get too much higher than the 230s. I know I want to see 240 because that's where that was a level I have marked out here, but lots of sell orders between 230 and 240, so it'll be a grind. All right, GRRR. Watch to see if this one turns around and comes back up to 590. We're starting to put in a green candle here.
Here's GUR. Now, what would you say if this pulled back to the VWAP here? 566, 11 cents where it's at now. Because frankly, I'd like to see a bounce off the VWAP before taking out the highs.
I would need to see some other candles to go sideways. If that move happens to where the bounce gets that, or the price gets down to view up and then immediately bounces and starts trading back up, well, I would be looking for the volume to increase right there. But it seems like it's just kind of slowly leaking. I don't know that the volume is going to come shooting back in, but the fact that we are starting to print a green candle and try to put in a bit of a bottom, like maybe even with that pre-market high consolidation at 570, you see that could be where it starts to turn around. It might even go lower than this, but I think 570 would be a better spot.
570 also the top of the after hours high yesterday, right, where it stopped. Yeah.
Okay, so after hours. Okay, yeah. So that's with the area I was looking at for where we could get some support if GER continues to move down.
Scanner, even my relative volume scanner, even for some of the smaller stocks here, really looks like it's dried up. AGBA is still on there. I know this is at the VWAP. Maybe this works here. GMM is on there, but this is under the VWAP. AKLI, which we talked about earlier, this was being halted, I think. This is a penny stock. Not looking great. ELND.
It looks like BRTX.
Excuse me.
Might still have a shot at getting back up to VWAP at least. It's still in the process. The MACD is still in the process of curling, so we'll see what happens with that. AGBA starting to trade back up from the high 360s. With the push AGBA, yeah. So I'm seeing
Google
here.
Really moved down off that high. 3M moved back down after it stopped me out. That one might have just been a little too early on that one, but that was a good setup. ATI off the scanner. Look at this one. Allegheny Technologies.
SPY coming down to 508.50, looking for support at that level now. If not, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying HWH. This was from yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. This moving on very, very low volume. Here's your SPY, though, 13. That's just breaking away from the VWAP.
Wow, Mullen popped to 740. Yeah, SPY is really starting to break down here. I wonder if this selling that we're getting is going to take us right back down to under 8 or 508.
Mullen looks like that's coming back to the VWAP here. I've got that VWAP at 651, by the way.
So we're trading Mullen.
I am not. No position here on Mullen for me.
Not a big deal. Yeah, I'm just waiting for some of these things that I'm seeing to materialize. A lot of stuff that's just kind of going sideways or beginning to curl. So the ones that are doing that, those are the ones worth watching. Just need to get some volume expansion on these. CYCC still hasn't got back up to that 240, and we did get a rejection around 229 with all those sell orders between 230 and 240. Looks like it's trying to take another stab at getting back up there. So I don't think CYCC is quite done yet, but the volume is not looking great. It's not looking great with a lot of these things.
AGBA kind of slowing down here. I know Sydney was talking about WISA warrants earlier. WISA has just been ripping all day here today. Sorry, I'm a little slow on this ticker here.
Oh, no problem. We've WISA has been something we've been trading like almost every week this month, it seems. And the thing about WISA is that it's usually starts out great and then there's a lot of pain later on. Like look at the past couple of days. I mean, it sold off out of the open, and then we started it started recovering and things were looking great. We went through VWAP, and then we went even lower by the end of the day. Same thing with the day before. Popped, everything was looking great, and then just absolute horror by the end of the day.
I mean, this looks like this actually might pull in here today. We'll see. How's Mullen holding up? Mullen back to the VWAP. This is where it was at the last time we took a look at it. ELYM. This is another one that you folks were looking at here. I feel like we've traded this one before. Yeah, we did. We had that nice little range marked on the chart there. This really breaking out $7 here. Wow.
CYCC still trying to push here. I know I keep mentioning this one. I should just.
Well, it's okay, 13, because my scanner is pretty much completely dried up at this point.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot of things. I'm not even trading anything at the moment. I have
Yeah.
no active trades right now.
Yeah, neither do I. I was stopped out of the one that I had. And at this point now, we're just going to wait for setups, and I'm just not seeing them. I'm going through all of the stocks here. UAVS, we talked about this is a penny stock. We normally don't look at PayPal here. I'm in.
Yeah, Jay Pertz was mentioning CYCC. That one does look like it's still gonna. Oh, okay, it is starting to move here.
I mean, this might just be the best opportunity at the moment right now in terms of movement and all that.
Probably. I just want to see what it does when we get to 240. That's the big level for me right now on that one. So if we get rejected there, then I'm probably not going to be doing anything with this until later, if there's any other opportunities later. But if we can get up through 240 and start to get some volume expansion, then I'll get a little more excited about maybe trying to capture some more trades.
SPY near the lows here, by the way. So SPY, I know it looked like it was trying to bounce there. It's actually now looks like it's trying to go lower here. This is something that we've been looking at, 13. We've been kind of setting the stage for this every day. CYCC looks nice, but untrustworthy. Literally 3 seconds later, knife to the VWAP. W.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm watching this one. The volume just isn't great in this, and that's why I want to see it expand.
The volume's not great anywhere, though, 13. That's the thing, though.
Yeah, good point.
Voodoo saying, Ryan, I got no trades on as well. My far from moving average scans are looking lame for trade ideas also. So Voodoo, it sounds like we're all kind of seeing the same thing. Any of you folks have anything great out there that you're looking at?
I like that he's using far from moving average trades. I don't hear about that too often, but I'm glad that you do that, Voodoo. I think that's a great way of using moving averages.
Raise a cheer.
Raise a cheer. Actually, you know what? I'll drink my coffee to that.
There we go. AMD slightly moving up. Yeah, sorry that everything kind of dried up here.
It's a desert in this market, dude. I mean, there are some interesting patterns that I'm seeing across the movers that we were looking at this morning, but without the volume to match it, they don't mean anything. The patterns could absolutely just collapse and get invalidated because the volume isn't going to help resolve them.
WGS, the one that we've taken a look at here, this is going more now.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for the mention, D4. Sizu. That's another stock we've been trading quite a bit this month. Let's take a look here with this one. So for me, I think what I'd want to see with this one today, since we are getting that support around the 10 level, which was a level I've had previously, 11 is the next one for me here. I want to see this get back up 11. Look what had happened yesterday.
Which ticker?
Sizu.
CZO. Sorry. You said that.
No problem. Yesterday, trying to find support from 11, it got that more or less in the morning, but after we went beneath and started trading it beneath 11, that's where we were for the rest of the day. So I think 11 is going to be a level for me that I need to see in order for Sizu to get, for me to take a trade in Sizu. But thank you for the mention, because this has been a big mover this month. Still watching AGBA. Not sure if we're going to turn around soon. Might be, a lot of these are probably going to present some better trading later on in the day. I mean, I'm sure some folks over in Wall Street are already thinking about.
Wow, look at the move of McDonald's. We talked about McDonald's being lower after earnings. This thing just went green in a market that is down and weak.
They like those big burgers.
I mean, they must. I didn't want to make a joke about it, but they must. This is actually I'm kind of surprised to see this move, honestly, in McDonald's, but here we are.
Well, it could be that there's an anticipation that there's gonna be a switch in how people feed themselves with rising prices. So they're probably, I mean, I know we've made the argument cooking at home is going to be cheaper than eating out. That I think that applies mostly to sit down restaurants and not necessarily fast food. But if the consumer has to tighten, they may go back to fast food, and that could be one of the reasons why we're seeing McDonald's trade up, especially if they're offering more protein in their meal. Then that might be oh wow, CYCC with a big knife. That might be one of the reasons why it's trading up, is because it's just a read on a weakening consumer looking for better deals for food.
Oh, that was a big knife right through the view app there. Good spot on that one.
The Max Mac. Mullen trying to go for the after hours high yesterday, which was 774. It's almost there, but it's getting some weakness. Well, what are you going to do today? Because it seems like there might not be a lot of trading to do.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm very, very interested in the companies that report after hours today. So I think what I might do, I'm definitely going to go work out after this. That's going to put me in the right mental headspace. I'm going to think as little as possible about Mullen, and I'm going to exercise. So I should feel awesome coming back from that. After that, I'm probably going to finish up with some BZ work here. But then early in the afternoon, I'm going to look back into the market. I want to see where the SPY is. I want to see where some of these other stocks that we're kind of watching actually are, to see if there's any type of trade that we might take. Shout out to PanW, for example, which has done a really good job staying above its 200-day. Not sure how I feel about buying that right ahead of the Fed. I'm going to see if there's anything that makes sense ahead of the Fed. And then I'm going to really focus on some of the earnings in the after hours here today. So I don't have a whole lot of really great stuff going on market-wise here today, 13. I'm going to try and stay as prepared as possible so that if tomorrow gives us more opportunities, we'll be ready to hit that. How about
Sounds
you?
Good. Yeah, I think Lynn Williams may have hit it on the head. Going back to Home Depot for some more mulch. I was doing yard work yesterday because the market was so boring. That's how boring it was. I was doing yard work. I do need to finish that up, so I might go and get some of that done.
Okay.
Might get a haircut. I don't know. I don't know. I think the beard may have taken on its own life. Wissa now pushing up.
Let me ask you, when the beard gets so big, does the other hair stop growing? Does it all just kind of focus to the beard?
No, it doesn't.
You're like, no, dude, I've got some massive float coming out the back here.
Yeah, it does get a little bit majestic sometimes when I
majestic. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Majestic hair on 13.
Oh man, it's I'm not going to talk anymore about it. It's ridiculous, and I need to get it cut.
Voodoo here saying, Ryan, I'm heading to the gym in a couple hours as well. I'm back up to 5 days a week, a couple hours a day, waiting for the boat splash this week or next. So awesome job on the working out there. I too am up to 5 or even 6 days a week now. Just making sure at least at minimum I get some steps in there, but also some working out. It's actually done really well for just my whole mental state. So I would advise everybody do this. Maybe if you're struggling with things, try working out a little bit more and see if that changes your outlook on stuff.
And I realize this has nothing to do with live trading, but we are still talking about getting gains here. So it applies.
Yes. Very good point, 13. Very, very good point. All right. I see you folks are checking out some of the other stocks that we've been looking at recently. Here's Rent. I know Rent, this was a huge move. This actually looks like this is going lower. Reddit, where's Reddit at today? Reddit giving up some of its gains. See if this breaks 40, how it behaves when it breaks 40 to the downside.
I haven't heard of that Market Sniper, but it's funny because, I don't know why it's coming back in, but apparently mullets are suddenly becoming a thing again. I don't understand.
It might be because of Mullen, because we all know how much you like that. But by the way, Sarah, Benzinga, nice. DJT calls paid off. Boom, registering on the DJT calls. Hopefully that worked out for you. It sounds like it did. Awesome stuff. Gerald looking at VRME. That's one of those pennies, though, isn't it, dude? No. I must have been confusing that with another one. Low volume here, but this was actually a decent move, Gerald. Mullets for Mullen. That sounds like a band name that I don't want to listen to be honest with you. I mean, it does.
I should go and see where do they even have these vehicles? Like, I don't know where I can get one near me, or if they even have anything for sale. I don't know anything about Mullen, but if they do have something I could go test drive, how would you guys like me to jump in and take a picture with this in a Mullen?
Oh man, I tell you what, that'd be boots on the ground content. I'll take that. And I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'll take it. AGBA, by the way, still kind of riding its VWAP. This actually might be one to keep on your radar for the afternoon, where we sometimes see these stocks pop out of their consolidation range after lunch, or maybe during lunch, near the end of the lunch hour. So the fact that it hasn't broken down yet is great. I don't think there's any reason to necessarily sit in this as it may knife. Maybe if you do sit in it, put a stop there so you can get out before it knifes. But watch this one. Maybe we get a pop here if things turn around. Volume's still looking pretty putrid.
Okay. Who mentioned VRME? I got
Gerald did.
Gerald, maybe I can't seem to understand it. Why does this not have any kind of news since last week? We have 2 days in a row now. This thing has been just taking off. Maybe you're just kind of as dumbfounded as I am. Like, why is this not getting any kind of, news? It should have something, at least a possible reason why this is moving. But this is a pretty big move in 2 days with nothing to go on. What's happening here?
Yeah, I don't really have anything.
There you go, Kingdom. If it gets to 13, that's what's happening. But yeah, so anyway, verify me. I'm curious about why we're moving on literally nothing here since last week. Interesting. Oh, it's for Amazon tracking and authenticity contract. Okay, so there might be something that just hasn't even hit the news yet, or something that everybody missed and we're just late to. Because I don't see anything that's suggesting. I mean, it was moving yesterday and it had no news. Nothing even talking about the news or the movement today.
Yeah, I don't see anything that's driving this.
So it's just unusual to me.
Okay, so real quick, just in terms of the schedule here, we're actually going to be going to Zunaid for all access pretty soon, next couple of minutes here. We're going to come back for Anne-Marie. So those of you that wanted to come see Anne-Marie, we will still be doing that. We're going to be a little bit after 11 there. So as soon as Zunaid is ready, we're going to kick you over to all access. Be sure to smash up the like for my main man 13. I tell you what, your shoulders are wide. You basically carried this group here today. Tons of calls in a market that was fairly slow. Really, really good setups as well. You absolutely love to see it. But yeah, smash up the like. We're going to stay here until everyone's ready. We will be, like I said, we had a full day, and it's not just going to stop here today either. We got a full week, lots of stuff going on, and I'm not talking about the Fed. I'm talking about us. So real good stuff there. Didn't Chris Mullen, oh, here we go. Jay's going into the archives. Didn't Chris Mullen have a mullet only? The old timers might get that one. I guess I'm an old timer. I watched Chris Mullen shoot for the Pacers. Oh my God, he was one of him and Reggie Miller, man, devastating 3-point shooters. He did have some odd hair. It was more of a crew cut though, wasn't it? Maybe part of that grew out into a mullet later in his career, but I remember him as having like a kind of like a crew cut there. But yeah, any of you young kids that like the NBA, be sure to check out highlights. Chris Mullen. It's a good mention there. I like being an old timer with you.
I'm not looking at anything I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, neither do I. I'm looking around here, and I'm sorry, folks. I have another screen where I'm kind of running through a scanner here. Don't see a whole lot. Oh, Zunaid, save us, bro.
Save us.
What's up? Yeah, I'll just go ahead and put my millions of dollars to the market. You guys are good, and we'll move things around.
Financial Zunaid, here we go.
And by the way, really quickly before we start all access, I just got to say to the entire group, met Zunaid in person for the first time. awesome dude, super hard worker. And Zunaid, no, seriously,
What's
the
up?
amount of stuff that the BZ crew did for that NFL draft, that was impressive from the top down. So I know I was saying what a great job you and AT did, but pretty much everyone else on your team that I was unable to talk to, just an excellent job. Keep up the good work.
Hey, appreciate it. Yeah, shout out to AT, Malia, Drew making the questions and the topics, Corey running around making sure everything was good. Thousands of emails were sent to make that a success. So appreciate you for recognizing it. And we'll see you boys at 11ish.
I'm gonna stick around here. I'm gonna be in the back.
Okay.
But we're gonna go to Anne Marie. Smash up the like for my main man 13. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, boss.
Take care, guys.
See y'all later, chat. What is going on? Hope you enjoyed some trading action, but you know what we love to do. We love to get executives from publicly traded companies on the show so we can get your questions answered, get some insights on what exactly is going on. We'll talk about things that may have reported in the past, talk about what's happening today, but more importantly, talk about the future as well. And we have Dave Rosa, who is the president and CEO of NeuroOne. Ticker on the NASDAQ is NMTC. All access starts right now. Dave, my man, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You bet. There's a lot for us to talk about, but for the folks that might not know at home, give us a quick overview of what is it that your company does.
So NeuroOne makes what we refer to as thin film, high definition electrodes that have multi-purpose functions, meaning they can perform both diagnostic and therapeutic functions using the same device. And we're really focused on pretty much the typical neurosurgical procedures that you hear about regarding like Parkinson's disease, epilepsy, motor disorders, things like that.
Yeah. You had a pretty recent announcement of the first implant on the One RF. Give us a little bit of insight on what that is and the treatment options there.
Yeah, so One RF is the first FDA cleared electrode to perform both diagnostic function as well as a therapeutic. We're extremely proud of that. It's the first device that we've got clearance for that has both diagnostic and therapeutic functions. The reason why it's potentially important, at least for physicians, as being a unique tool in their toolbox, is that today when a patient comes in with epilepsy, they perform a pretty invasive surgical procedure where they implant electrodes. And the main purpose of that is to find the problem areas in the brain so they could then target those to do an ablation or a laser procedure. But after the diagnostic procedure is done, the patient's sent home and then scheduled for a second surgery where they've got to go back in, drill holes into the skull, implant a laser, burn the tissue. And with our device, what we're able to do in the same hospitalization is put the initial electrodes in for diagnostic purposes. But then once the neurosurgeon has indicated the problematic areas, instead of having to send the patient home, re-drill holes, all you need to do, and neurosurgeons want to do this at the patient's bedside, is all you need to do is to connect the electrode to our RF generator, and then you can perform the ablation right there without having to remove any devices or send the patient home. So much better from a patient's perspective, really only having to go in for one hospitalization and really one procedure.
And that's kind of like the biggest thing, because I mean, drilling holes, that's already kind of scary, right? So having to kind of go through that procedure, knowing that, hey, I made it out okay, I made it out safe, and then to know that, oh, wait, but I've got to go back more, that's just mentally draining, and that doesn't help when you're trying to recover from such a procedure. I'm going to come back to the current activities that you're mentioning here in a second, but I want to keep expanding on this. The therapeutic indications with the One RF, right? How does it kind of complement what you're already doing, especially in the diagnostics brain mapping technology sector here?
It's really a perfect complement because, again, going back to how these procedures are staged today, they're staged in that the diagnostic is done first and then the therapeutic second. And it's the beauty of this is that we're using the same device to do both of them. So it's really the next step. The therapeutic part is the next step in treating the patient after the diagnostic is done, and being able to use the same device really positions us uniquely in the market.
Now, going back to what I was saying earlier, there are a lot of things that you're doing with the company. We just talked about one of the major ones. What else is going on, right? What else are we doing in the neurological disorder space, and what portfolios are we targeting?
Yeah, so in terms of indications, the ones that we're targeting right now, I've already kind of mentioned some of these, but yeah. Parkinson's disease, today, probably the most effective way of treating it, if medications aren't successful, is to use deep brain stimulation. So, again, what we're trying to do is develop the electrode to be implanted permanently to again, do both diagnostic as well as provide a therapeutic function. So the diagnostic would be really picking up brain activity that suggests that the patient may be stumbling or losing their balance, and then in essence transmitting that information back to a little pulse generator, which would then stimulate to prevent, hopefully to prevent the patient from stumbling. So that's one indication that we're going after. But another application that I think could be used broadly in the future to treat epilepsy, Parkinson's, really a number of different diseases, is using our device to deliver gene therapy or drugs to treat patients. I mean, today, ablation, stimulation are typically used to treat these indications, but there are a number of studies going on where pharma companies are delivering drugs directly to the affected area in the brain, in the hopes of actually curing these diseases. So we think, again, that we're positioned very nicely with our electrode, because you can use the electrode, again, to find the problem area in the brain and then connect it to a system to deliver the drug. And then after the drug is delivered, really monitor the efficacy. So we think what the future holds is really different technologies that comprise a large toolbox for the neurosurgeon, of which I think drug delivery could be the most prominent once some of these drugs are approved.
We've talked about the brain. Let's go to another part that is connected. We'll talk about the spinal cord. What's unique about it in terms of the stimulation system for NeuroOne?
Yeah, so today, the electrodes that are placed for spinal cord stimulation to treat back pain, I don't know if you can, how well you can see that, but they use electrodes that look like this. Mm-hmm. And the reason why they use electrodes like this are you can place them through the skin. You can literally place a needle in the target area and then put those types of electrodes through there. But you can see how small they are, and the contacts of the electrodes are circumferential. So you're really stimulating in a 360-degree range when you just want to extend stimulation downward. So the idea is to take an electrode like this, a flexible electrode like this, roll it up into a tube and be able to deliver that through a needle, and actually have a flat electrode in there that can stimulate a broader area as well as downward without having to make an incision in the patient's back. So the flexibility of our electrodes really allow for something like that to happen. And that's what makes it unique.
I'll go back to what I said earlier. The less holes and poking and openings that we have to do, I feel like the better for the patient, and also probably for recovery itself as well. Let's talk about the temperature control that you provide there as well, especially how it can kind of enhance patient safety compared to, say, the traditional methods that we might have used in the past.
Yeah, what really makes our ablation system, or one of the things that makes it unique, other than it can do both diagnostic and therapeutic functions, is that we also included a temperature probe that literally is placed in the center of the electrode. So the electrode itself has a hollow lumen. And what you can do, what it allows you to do, is actually measure the temperature at the spot where the doctor is ablating the brain tissue. I mean, when you're obviously dealing with burning brain tissue, it's a pretty serious type of procedure. And you want to make sure the temperature doesn't get too hot. You don't want to char brain tissue. You want to do the ablation at a safe temperature really to protect the patient. And it was something that was important for us to include to really prevent any sort of issues as this device gets used.
All right, we've talked about everything that you have done, are doing, but let's talk about the future. Any prospects for growth, anything in this sector that we should know about? What is something we can look forward to here in the future?
Yeah, I think the drug delivery aspect is an area that can really present a lot of growth for us. But the other piece is we developed this generator for brain ablation, but that generator, what we're looking to do is leverage it to perform ablations to manage pain throughout the rest of the body. Yeah. So I think what you'll begin to hear about with the company are additional indications that we go after to really leverage that system that today is being used for brain ablation.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate the insights. Any final thoughts from you before we go?
Just keep an eye for upcoming news on the company. We have a lot of things going on. It's an extremely exciting time for us. So stay tuned.
All right. I look forward to it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you, chat, for hanging out with us. That was Dave Rosa, President and CEO of NeuroOne. Ticker on the NASDAQ is NMTC. And that does it for All Access, but the show is not done. We've got Anne-Marie in the back. We've got Ryan in the back as well. Ryan, you give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go.
I'll just bring myself on, dude. I'm ready to go. We'll get the lights on.
Yeah.
I was born at night, Zunaid, but not last night.
Were you actually?
Yeah, 11:59.
Wow. Talk about beating the buzzer.
No, you're talking about, it was 11:59 on St. Patrick's Day, dude. I was born on a holiday by 1 minute. I never had to worry about birthday plans because everyone's out getting hammered on green beer.
You mentioned St. Patrick's Day. I believe Anne-Marie is wearing green.
I didn't even know. Let's find out. Anne-Marie, are you wearing? Look at this. Zunaid has got his finger on the pulse of everything.
I'm that cool. That's all I got to say. All right, I'm out. You two enjoy.
Zunaid, good stuff. Take care of yourself, man.
So are we to assume that Zunaid has a Wrangler since he has that rubber ducky?
I don't know. Let's ask him.
Do you know that's a thing?
I didn't know that, but now I'm Googling it.
I didn't either. And I didn't want to assume because of course, when you do that, you make an ass out of you and me. And I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing. It's a Jeep thing. Yeah.
Go throw that in your Jeep. Get rid of your Hyundai, get a Jeep and put that in
I'm
there.
5'7" though, so I don't know how great a Jeep looks on me. I don't know.
Well, it makes you look taller because you're higher in the air.
Yeah, but then think how disappointed people are if I go on date night and I hop out of a Jeep and I have to I skip a beat. I don't know.
Listen,
then
the
don't
cool
disappoint
factor. They won't even be looking at anything else.
That's what I'm saying.
Factor, you got it.
That's what I'm saying. I appreciate it. But hey, you two enjoy. I'm excited to see with earnings and everything what you've got in the options world. I'll be in the back.
Okay. Sounds good, Zunaid. Anne-Marie, happy Tuesday. Happy new week. I'm excited too. I know that we recently had some earnings here this morning. We actually had a couple of big ones here this morning.
Yeah, let's go through them.
Okay, let's do that. Do you have something that you want to share here?
I do. I want us to, but let's go through them as we go. I've got a trade for Eli Lilly. And,
okay.
I'm thinking that it sticks sort of where it is. I'm going to look at a monthly chart that gives us a sort of a view, but go on.
Do we want to start with Lilly here?
Sure.
Okay, let's do that. Here is Eli Lilly. Now, I have a daily chart here with a bunch of moving averages. If I need to clean these up, we can do that. You had mentioned you wanted to start with a monthly chart there. Here it is. What are we seeing?
So what I actually am suspecting is, although the guidance is good, the numbers came in a little bit soft. Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of. Yeah. And so noticing that we have a formation where that 800 is a little bit of a topping event, I suspect that the 810 short and the 700 short on the put side, the 710 on the put side, is going to give us a nice range that will allow us to get almost 50% of the premium in between in that short iron condor. So I really I like that. If there are those of you that think to yourselves, hey, listen, I think it goes wider. This one is not as conservative, but I'll show you on my chart how you can draw a box that tells you a little bit about upside pressure. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a drawing.
Okay.
And I'm going to go top to bottom on the last earnings event, right? And so from this last earnings event, notice if we go back 3 earnings, we're going to see a big gap up and a bunch of sideways motion that closes nearby. But before the following earnings, it takes a jump. So we're going to anticipate sideways action, but just before the next earnings, this one will expire and we won't have that overhead press to the north that we might think would occur by and large. And so with this box, it's kind of I should make it a noisy looking box. So let's change the properties and I will turn it into, I don't know, something like that. And it gives us this box. We can duplicate the box for the measured move up. And then we're going to divide that in half. And then in, half. And I'm eyeballing this. And in quarters again. And so if you're saying to yourself, listen, it's very apparent that people would rather be thin than not lie on the couch and feel very sick, which is what this medication tends to do to a lot of people, we're going to see a potential move up just before the next earnings at around 8:30. So if you want to go very conservative, you can choose the 8:30 and then the 8:40. And it's actually, that doesn't give us much less. So we might do that just to be on the safe side. I thought this credit would drop below $4. So it's about $4.90 if we go from 8:10 to 8:20. But okay, so this is what I actually thought it would be.
Yeah, I was going
around
to say, there it goes. Took a sec.
Yeah. So my thought is, since we're doing it before that earnings event and we expect it to keep in that space, I think we get a 50% erosion here. And so we can open this for 510 and then close it when the credit gets to 250. So we have 50% profit. And that comes up in about 60 days, maybe even less, maybe 50 days. So I like it a lot for this movement. I do not perceive here's why I am saying, hey, let's pump the brakes here. So we had a hot inflation number. It's going to keep the Fed constrained into the move. They're not going to be able, if they cut rates, we're going to risk hyperinflation. And if that happens, we've got a whole other world of problems. And so if we just take a look at the SPX and we see what's going on here, we can see that the formations are still showing us we've got chop between now. Sorry about all those dogs. There are a lot of them here at my sister's house.
And dogs are awesome. No big deal. Dogs are friends of the show.
Good. 5264. You might want to put an alert there just for giggles to tell you that price action is might be a little sticky right on that zone. But that's my thought about Lilly. Do you have any pushback?
No. I don't have pushback. Really quick question there about the SPY. I noticed that you were using the S&P cash, right? Ticker SPX. Do you always use that as your reference? Do you sometimes use the SPY?
I do normally use the SPY. I do. So let's take a look at it. And we can see that nice big bounce. If you love Fibonacci's, you can see we've got maybe a 161 retrace almost to the top there. Let's see that. Let's see. what is that? Do I have it upside down? Yes, I do. So I need a negative 0.618. And that's because I moved it I did it down to bottom. But you can see the top of that is 528. We rejected that 523 pretty hard. And my thought is we dribble sideways. And of course, I sound like a broken record because this is the thing I talk about all the time. I think we're in a dribble zone where, yes, there are going to be a few high flyers, but by and large, it's going to be a buy the dip event. A lot of people are saying, hey, I think we're done. I think we move all the way up and make new highs. The question is, why? What's happening with the undercurrent? We know that we've had a lot of beats from earnings, but those earnings have also had their estimates reduced. And so that's the game the earnings estimates plays. I'm going to reduce my earnings estimates until they meet or break above the market. And then the next month I'll reduce it and move it again. So that's what I'm thinking with the broad market there. What else did you see from an earnings space that makes you want to peek at?
Okay, the one that I saw this morning, or the one that was the most shocking this morning, and I guess you could say it's related to the Eli Lilly and the weight loss drugs, was McDonald's, ticker MCD. McDonald's reported earnings this morning moved lower. There was a report that they are going to test a bigger size burger this year, which doesn't make any sense to me and seems to fly in the face of the Ozempic products. When you look intraday at this chart, you'll see that it sold off on earnings and the conference call. And then as soon as the market opened, this thing went red to green and is actually resolved higher. We're about flat now. We've actually come in from those highs. But this was one that I was going to ask you about here this morning. McDonald's, ticker MCD.
So this is very interesting. And I like to go really big. I like to get the 30,000 foot level to see what price action's been doing. So is it any surprise, taking a look at this, that it bounced off of this 260-ish level, 264? Well, support, 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 resistance, support, resistance. So we know it's an area where the buyers are saying, this looks like a value event for me. Some people are going to hold McDonald's for however long. Triple D this morning was lamenting about how much it costs to take his kids to McDonald's, and it was very expensive. And so the question is, I don't know why it faded, but we certainly know that value buyers are going to say, hey, if it comes into 265, I'm going to buy me some. And so it's really bounced from this 265 all the way up to the prior resistance area of 273. So here's what we notice. On the month, if I have a moving average that's up and my momentum is up, people are going to buy that dip. Right? More than likely, it might be a snap trade, but they're going to buy it. They're going to buy it into resistance. The big question is, how well is it going to close the week? Right? And if we take a look at how it's been doing, this is a totally different evaluation if you look at it from the weekly. The weekly says, I've got a sideways formation, right? But this move over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks has been either a fade or a fade at the bounce. And so if this is moving down and that is negative, it tells me the sellers are waiting up here right at the resistance zone. So my suspicion is that we have a lot of value buyers that are saying, you know what, I want to buy that 265 area and hope for the bounce. And the sellers are saying, good on you, but good luck getting up over 280. And that's also where the month opened up. That's my little green line right here. That's the first day
Okay.
of the month. So again, if we're taking a look at potential upside to potential downside, I think we've got a really nice floor at this 260 area into potentially June, right? If it breaks, that lovely round area near 250 is going to be the one that we watch. So I know I've been the one trick pony, but I really am enjoying how well these position for me through these chains. So let's just take a look at this and say, you know, I don't know if it's going to move up. I don't know if it's going to move down, but what I do suspect is that it's going to stay in some kind of range. So if we go ultra conservative, 250 to 255, oops, 255 selling, the buying the 250. And we go down and we say, I don't think you're going to get up over 280, but let's give it a go at the 285 with $5 of risk and a 94% probability, we get a credit of 124. And so I'm also a fan of this trade. I think it works nicely inside of our general framework. And I am still in the camp of sideways as she goes. You know, I don't see us falling off a cliff anywhere. I don't see us heading to the moon anywhere. There's enough upside pressure from constraints about inflation and the like. Consumer sentiment also a lower number than expected today. And so I don't see the floor dropping out because there's a lot of buying pressure. Look at how that's a pretty good size wick, right?
Indeed.
So we have a good feeling about these guys hanging out here. If you want to be a little more aggressive, then you can be, but better safe than sorry is my personal philosophy there. So that's my thought on that one. Were you surprised by the McDonald's fade or surprised by the bounce?
I was surprised by the bounce, honestly. I thought that the earnings was going to present some new information that might change where some of those levels were. But as you just put it here, the supply zone just held it, right? We just held. And really quickly, just to kind of cover one of the things that you had mentioned there, that consumer confidence print was 97 versus the 104 estimate. We did not even cover that on our show here, but you were right to bring that up. So I was just surprised to actually see this come all the way back, you know, within the first 30 minutes of the market being open and then going green. And at this point now, I'm just kind of wondering what the next move is here. To me, I would say that this shows me that low, what do I have it here on my chart that we really kind of hit here? 260, right? Really that 260 number, really, really strong support there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so I gave it a little bit of wiggle room in the position. And so what do you always want to do when you've got something like this? You want to, one, put an alert on the baseline of the event at our 255 area. So we always want to create that alert. And then we also want to create the alert above to the 280-ish area. Let me move this line up a bit because we have the 285.
Okay.
And then we create an alert with the drawing as crosses above. And then Bob's your uncle, right? Now notice several days ago, we had the highest volume day that we had in a long time. That's the number 276. That's really exactly where we collided. If you use Thinkorswim, this little indicator here, it's called the TTM linear regression channel. I have it at these things. I think that's stock. It's standard, but it tells me where the average price rotations are sitting. And I I really like it that it collapsed up at this level, because my thought is it doesn't have any further to run. Now, risk-wise, if you said, hey, you're saying it's not going to move from 280. So how about if I go 280 to 285? And if I think it's going to hold 260, I go 260 to 255.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me a little bit more premium.
I
but
think
the
I'd
risk
almost
also expands.
Yeah, I think I'd almost rather sit on that more conservative end that you talked about in the first trade. Personally, yeah, I'm with you on that. That's where I'd rather be. By the way, it's interesting that you bring up that TTM deviation channel, or excuse me, a linear regression channel. I actually use a standard deviation channel as a study. I might have to actually look into that and see what type of differences I can get for it. It's similar. This one looks a little bit more in depth though, but you've given me some homework. This is really good. This is how I often add tools to the toolbox. So I like that. Okay. So that's 2 trades here so far. I really like that. We do have a couple of questions I was hoping we could get to. Okay. I apologize, but the first one here is not going to be market related. The Crow is a gigantic Star Wars fan, and he needs to know about the heads behind you. You got C-3PO, Stormtrooper, Boba Fett, and Darth Vader up there. Someone else must really like Star Wars in that household.
Absolutely. So this is my brother-in-law's office, and he is on holiday with my sister, and I came to watch my mom. And he actually used to work for ILM when he was
that's
very
what
young
I was hoping you were going to say. That is so cool.
And these are all actual ones from the ILM shop. And as a matter of fact, in the original Star Wars, he's one of the stormtroopers that comes in. When they're all, I don't know when they come in to see Darth Vader. One guy hits his head because he's super tall.
Yes, that's your brother?
No, he's 2 over. He's 2 over, but the guy that hits his head is right there in the mix. And so actually on my right, I have his full-size uniform of the stormtrooper. Let me see if I can take a picture of it and show it.
I was going to say, and you know what? If you send that picture to me, pending your approval, I will share that with our chat. Because like I said, we got a whole bunch of Star Wars fans here.
There's actually a lightsaber there. I'll turn it on.
I have some lightsaber props myself. They're not as cool as the ones he has, I'm sure. I got to say, I know we kind of just digressed a little bit from the market here. I absolutely love this. The Crow, who initially answered this question, said, that's amazing. Crow, how about that? You thought I was just going to add you and get some stock answer there? No. We had a mic drop moment right there. Pretty awesome. Nicholas saying the same thing. Emery, I can't thank you enough. Really appreciate that. Would love to see that picture. That is super, super cool. Now, I do have a serious question about the market if you're ready to change back.
I'm ready.
You see, folks, we shift tracks here all the time. We have no trouble bouncing around here. Love this question. Love seeing this. Heats saying, hello, Anne-Marie. I'd love to hear some insight for Amazon play for last minute. And I'm not sure what Heats. I'm not sure what you mean there.
Yeah.
Okay. What strategy could it be? I appreciate if you could take a quick look. Now, Amazon does report tonight, so I understand a lot of your plays are post earnings. We're asking you a pre-earnings question. I have a backup if you have nothing for this, but just to answer Heat's question here, I was wondering if there's anything you can share with them.
Okay. So the first thing we want to do is we want to see how much the options market has priced into this position. And the way we do that, if you want to know what the option chains are saying, you want to go to at the money, and that's sort of in between these two. So we'll just pick 177.50, and we're going to add the ask on both sides, and we're going to see 8 and 6 is 14.75 is what they're doing. Now, if you look at the top, it says market makers are saying 13.37. But what they're pricing is 14.70, 14.75.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that means is they're going to feel pain after $13 either away from this number or this number. All right. So we're going to move it up and we're going to say, let's just say $15 because that's what they're saying. If we go $15, it'll be 7, and then I don't know, 165. Let's say 162.50. Right? Right now, the volume here is 4,000, but 165 has got volume of 6,700 today. So that's a number that looks like the wall that will give the traders trouble if it gets breached. So if you're thinking to yourself, if they gap down, now I don't know how AWS is doing for them this season, but what we saw is Microsoft coming up off of that really nice earnings and then going. And so, do you like my sound effect there?
I actually did. I was just thinking there. I was like, I had something ready to say here, but the sound effect was great. Really kind of threw me off there.
So we have this 165. Listen, I have a butterfly spread here right now. And the butterfly spread, I have 180, 170, 160. And then I have the 195, 205, 215. Okay. So I have a $10 spread here and a $10 spread here, but it's all the way in June. If you're looking at doing something like that and you want it for May 3rd, you're going to see they're a little bit more expensive on the put side because it's really inside of the money. This is actually doing a lot better. We bought it for maybe I don't know. I think we bought it for a little bit under $1. And so this one is doing quite well. But if you did it here, you would spend about $2. And if it either went to 205 or came into 170, you would have that $10 of potential reward. Now, the question is, will the chart do that? I don't know. If you're looking for something much less complex, and let me move this back because I don't want to lose the bubble on that position. Let's add a 165. Let's see how much a long iron condor would be. 165 to 155. And let's go to see resistance. 180, 182.50 to 187.50. 82. Ooh, that's very expensive.
Indeed.
87. Did I go $10 or $5? Let's see. Oh, $10. 85 to 95. See, that long iron condor would be $5.39. Oops. $4.79 if we made it 10 wide. So it'd be a 1-to-1. If it went all the way up into that edge, you'd make $5. And if it went all the way down to that 155, you'd make $5. But it's that 1-to-1 space. It could potentially get cheaper if we went to the 10. Nope, more expensive. So that's the way you could play it. If you wanted to do a butterfly, you could also do it. But again, I would say move it all the way out. If you like, I'll share this butterfly with you. I'm going to snapshot it so you can see it all big and nice.
Perfect. I actually have it blown up here on stream, and I have our cameras removed, so that it should be easier to see. But here you go, folks. And Anne-Marie, did you put this in the Benzinga Pro chat by chance?
Yes, this is the Benzinga Pro chat.
So for any of you that have Benzinga Pro, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, not so subtle, go check out Anne-Marie's room. Those are going to be in there, and they're going to be in there in a timely fashion. So, okay, awesome stuff here on Amazon. Heats, does this answer your question? Let me know. I appreciate this. I think this is a really good look here at Amazon.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, a couple more things here. I'll tell you what, we really hit something on the Star Wars theme real quick. Gladys is saying Apple do or do not. Obviously, there is no try. So Apple, I know we only have 3 minutes here if you want to go over Apple real quick. And because you folks asked, and because Anne-Marie was so kind, here is the full-size Stormtrooper. This is awesome. This is awesome. He's even got his blaster and oh my goodness. That is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Guys, this was not on the agenda today. This is all bonus. This is all bonus here today. Amber, we've got 3 minutes left here. What do you think on Apple?
So, did Apple report already?
No, Apple reports this Thursday. Big Mama, as I like to call Apple, is this Thursday after hours here. And really quick, Elon's asking, is Anne-Marie appearing on a regular schedule? Yes, Tuesdays and Fridays. Occasionally, there will be no show for one reason or another, but her slate is Tuesdays and Fridays, 11 to 11:30. Be sure to check it out. Okay.
So my thought is I have a double diagonal here, which is a little bit intricate, all the way out to the top and then all the way out to the bottom. My thought is that if we go to some very big time frames, Apple looks like it's struggling a little bit, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of buying volume all the way down into these lower edges, and then selling volume all the way up into the 200s. Do I think it's going to blow the doors off? I have to say no, but take a look at how much they're looking for a move. $6.13. Here is my double diagonal. I've sold the 190 calls and I've sold the 160 puts. What that means is I don't expect it to drop below 160. I expect it to kind of hold there.
I agree.
For the next couple of days. But I also don't see it getting up over 190. So I've sold the calls above. I've sold the puts below. And as long as the price action does not breach out of there by Friday, on May the 3rd, what I will have is a strangle that gives me long calls or long puts so that the following week, when it begins to digest the move, I'll be prepared for it.
Okay, awesome. And your timing is absolutely perfect. By the way, folks, I think the only thing for us to really do here is to end this stream in a Star Wars manner. So Jay is going to say, Anne-Marie, may the 4th be with you, or excuse me, may the force be with you. What I will say to all of you, including you, Anne-Marie, enjoy Saturday, because
it's May the 4th. Yes.
May the 4th be with you. I tried to get that joke out of there. My tongue got twisted and I dropped it. Anne-Marie, thanks so much for everything here today. Again, just as a reminder, Anne-Marie has a regular scheduled show here. We're going to see you again on Friday, Anne-Marie, all right? We're going to have a lot of earnings. We're going to have a lot of earnings to cover that have happened between now and then. I'm really looking forward to it.
Thanks so much, Ryan. I am too. Take care, everyone. Good luck trading.
Take care, everybody. And we will see you tomorrow for live trading. And we will see Anne-Marie again on Friday.